Welcome to our final webinar. This is EDUC 5324. If you're just signing in, please write your name under the chat box for attendance purposes. And also, if you have any questions during the webinar time, you may also use chat box to ask your questions. So I'm going to scroll down on our course website, and what I did this week, I actually opened the content for week 5 and 6 at the same time. So now all of the content for this course is available for you to work on. Under week 5, which is the current week, there are 2 assignments due. The first one is online discussion 3. And on this discussion assignment, we're talking about Assure lesson plan model. So it's a lengthy model, and what I'm going to actually show you here is that there is a chapter from our textbook, which is chapter 3. So I would recommend you to download this chapter and read this chapter in detail before actually you start on this Assure model resources. There's also a lesson plan template, and there's a model summary. So in this webinar, though, I'm not going to go over the details of the Assure model, but what you could do is to watch this recording, which is, I think, about maybe at least 30 minutes long, if I'm not mistaken. So watch this webinar here, and then it will give you all the information that you need about Assure model. So once you know more about Assure model, and on this webinar, I'm also, on that recording, I'm also explaining the assignment here. You've got 2 options for this one. You either need to select A or B as your assignment. So if you are doing the A, it's right here. So it starts with selecting a grade level and preparing a write-up. A write-up is different than a lesson plan. A write-up is kind of like a plan for a lesson plan. So it's not as detailed as a lesson plan, but it's a preparation for a lesson plan. And then on this write-up, I've got 3 samples here. You may actually check them out. And then you need to attach your write-up in, not actually attach, but you would actually write your write-up as a text under this discussion box. So when you reply to me at the bottom here, go ahead and write your write-up as your main post. Your main post for A should also include your reflection. This is the reflection on the process that you used, and it's pretty much the reflection on the Assure model. So the Assure model is a pretty famous model. This is about using technology to create lesson plans. It's one of the best lesson plan templates that you can use for technology integration. If you were to do the second option, which is the option B, these are the questions that you need to answer. There are 5 questions here. So all these questions are, you can find the answers to these questions in the chapter that I actually included. So go ahead and write the answers for these questions. On number 5, though, you need to review following lesson plans. Actually, one of these lesson plans. So it could be the ELA lesson plan, or it could be the math lesson plan. All right. So you download these lesson plans, and then your role here is to enhance these lesson plans based on what you learned about Assure model. Again, I'm not going into details of the Assure model here, but there's a separate video recording that I recorded earlier. Please watch that first before you start on this assignment. So here in this assignment, again, you answer either A or B. So there are 2 parts, but you don't have to do both. Just respond to A or B. Now, when you respond to me as your main post, don't forget to add another post for peer reply. Now on this assignment, you need to do only 1 peer response. So as long as you respond to one of the students in the class, you'll be fine. But when you do respond to a student, make sure their topic is different than your topic. So if you chose, let's say, A as your main response or main discussion post, try to find someone who did a main post on B. So you can learn from that person's post or from that type of reading. So again, choose someone who had a different main post than your topic, but only one peer response will be needed. So your main post is due actually this Friday. The peer posts can be done until the Monday deadline. So that's our procedure here. And don't forget to include your APA citation. If anything, you can actually use the book chapter as your citation for this main post. Okay, so I'm going to go back to home page here. All right, so and if you're just signing in, if you just joined us, please write your name under the chat box for attendance. So let's go back to week 5 again and see the next assignment. So this online discussion assignment is our last assignment in terms of discussion assignments. There's no more discussion assignments left. And our last technology assignment is called Prezi, Padlet, and Online Conferencing Tools. For that, let's click on this. So I'm going to show you the requirements. So just like the online discussion assignment, there are 2 parts to this assignment. So you can actually choose either part 1 or part 2 for this assignment. In other words, you do not have to do both. So let's say you want to create a Prezi assignment, a Prezi presentation, and this could be part 1. So the topic of this Prezi presentation will be online conferencing tools. So there are many online conferencing tools out there. This is just a sample list. I'm actually currently using Zoom. That's another good option, and it's not even listed here. So that could be an option that you can, that could be a topic that, or a software that you can use for this assignment. So you need to pick at least 2 of these from this list, or maybe something that I don't know, or it's not listed here. So let's say you will choose Skype and TeamViewer. You can talk about these in your Prezi presentation. So you need to prepare a Prezi presentation and dedicate 5 slides to each tool. So let's say 5 slides about Skype and 5 slides about join.me. And this is the structure of your slides. Slide 1 will be about the tool itself, its URL, which means its web address. And slide number 2 should be about how this tool works, screenshots. And slide 3 should be about advantages and disadvantages of this tool. And slide number 4 will be about personal reflection. How can you use this tool in your professional life? So applications, some examples, and slide number 5 will be about resources that we can further explore and some sample videos. So that's needed for your first tool here. The second one, starting from slide number 6 all the way to slide number 10, you can dedicate those 5 slides to your second tool of selection. So for this, we are creating a Prezi presentation. Again, the topic is online conferencing tools, and you need to pick 2 of these to explore. There are some technical requirements, such as you should be editing you should be customizing your Prezi presentation. You may play with the fonts, the colors, etc. And then at least 1 video will be required in your entire presentation, and you need to be using at least 1 picture in your presentation. All right, so for this assignment, I do need the Prezi link. Now, maybe you're not going to work on Prezi and you do want to work on Padlet. That's acceptable too. If you want to do Padlet, this is what you need to do. So Padlet is a virtual board. It's like a bulletin board, but it's virtual. So you can basically post anything that you want. It's very useful for creating Let's say I've seen teachers using this as for their warm-ups or for their daily agenda or having discussions with students. I mean, there are many different purposes of Padlet. So you may actually create a lot of different things with Padlet, such as lessons for your class. It could be information bulletin board. Even it could be used for a science fair board, or you may create a meeting board. So it's all up to you what to use. So you select your own topic for this. Actually, I've got samples here. You can check out these samples, and you're going to see how my previous students actually created Padlets. So choose an educational school-related topic for your Padlet. And in your Padlet, you should have at least 2 images. You need to include some text, and at least 1 video should be included. Now, there's also the file requirement right here. It says file, but a lot of students really miss this out and they don't include a file. And this is something that I take off points for. In terms of the file type or the file requirement, the file format, it doesn't really matter. You can insert a PDF file or Microsoft Word file. This could be your lesson plan. This could be a worksheet that you will be using for your lesson plan. So some sort of file is needed to go along with the information that you posted under Padlet, under your Padlet. So again, these are sample Padlets. There's even a Padlet tutorial here. So again, just to repeat, this technology assignment is our last assignment, and we will be creating either a Prezi or a Padlet. And the topic for Prezi is online conferencing tools. For Padlet, the topic could be any of these: a lesson plan, an information bulletin board, a science fair board, a board for a meeting, or any other school-related information. Okay, so choose part 1 or part 2. So this assignment is due on Monday the 6th. I'm going to go back to home page and show you how, or actually I'm going to show you, okay, this tutorial here includes information about Azure model, the Padlet, and the Prezi. So you may watch this in your spare time before you start on this week's assignments. I also included these 2 resources here. The first one is online conferencing tools and resources. So on this one, again, I do give you more information about the programs that I mentioned, like join.me, Skype, Zoom. We're currently using Zoom, appear.in, there's Google Hangout, Teamweaver, which is more professional, by the way, and there's Prezi remote presentation. So you can choose any of these, actually 2 of these for your Prezi presentation this week. So if you want to know more about Prezi, you can click on Prezi resources. And here you're going to find tutorials on Prezi. Now, recently with Prezi, there was a change in terms of its structure. So if you had an account with Prezi before, so if you've been using Prezi before, actually, I believe 2017, the summer of 2017, you'll have your classic version available, which is something that I really like. I really prefer the classic version because it gives you more tools to use. However, if you just created an account with Prezi, or let's say after 2017, the summer of 2017, then your Prezi account will be this version, which will be the next version. So there are 2 versions, the classic version and the next version. The newer ones will be always on the Prezi Next. But if you are one of those lucky people who had an account with Prezi before 2017, then you will have access to Classic. So either way is fine. You can use Classic version or the next version. Both are acceptable. Just letting you know that there are 2 separate tutorials here for both versions. Okay, so let's go back to home page, and I'm going to show you the content for the next week. And next week is our last week, and it's actually not even a complete week. The finals actually start on, I believe, on Tuesday. This class doesn't have a final exam, but we do have a final project, right? So the final project is ePortfolio. Actually, this tutorial here that I posted earlier is all about the ePortfolio assignment. So please watch this again to understand the requirements for ePortfolio. But right now, I'm going to go over some of the requirements and introduce them to you. So the ePortfolio is kind of like our comprehensive final showcase assignment. So we want to showcase our work that we did for this class. So there are some sample designs here. These are, again, some of my previous students. You can check their ePortfolio websites. And there's a certain way to actually name your website address or domain name. So please try to keep it professional as much as you can. So we don't want to see like short, let's say, nicknames or some funny names here. This is a portfolio and it has to be professional. So you may use your first name, last name, you may use your initials, you may use your course name here. So all those are acceptable. You need to make sure that you will be generating a unique name for your domain name. Now on Weebly, you'll realize that like in these examples, they all have .weebly.com because we are using the free version of Weebly and we're not paying for a standard domain name. So I would advise you to do the same. It's okay to have weebly.com under your web address. That's the only way we can use the free version of Weebly. Now, anything that you see here as red and bold will be a page. So these are the required pages. So in our website, we do need a page called Home. We do need a page called About. And we do need a page called Philosophy of Education. And another page for courses. Another page, which is our course name, EDUC 5324. And under that, we do need technology projects. This is one single page, which means all of these items that I listed here should be included under one long page of technology projects. So we are not creating separate pages for these. These are individual projects. They all need to be posted under the same page, under this specific page. And then all of your research assignments go under this page. Again, do not create separate pages for research assignment 1 or research assignment 2. They need to be put together under one page, which is this one. Under the blog, we need 2 posts. This is important because a lot of times students do miss this out and they do only, let's say, do reflection posts and they don't do the other one. So post number 1, select one of your main posts. You don't have to create a brand new content for this. Any of your main posts from one of the online discussions in this course will be acceptable. You already worked on it. You can copy that information and paste it as your main post. I'm sorry, as your post number 1. And for reflection posts, though, this is something new that you need to be creating, you need to be writing about. So this is a reflection of the course. So you do want to talk about what this course meant for you. And these are some of the guiding questions that I listed. Read these questions. Basically, this is before, during, and after type of questions. So what were you expecting before the course started, and how things really happened during the course time? What did you learn during the course? And after the course is completed, is your understanding of technology changed? So you do want to talk about this in your reflection statement, and this will be, again, will be your post number 2. There are some other things that I look at, for example, the design of the website and some other general requirements, such as each page having a text, having a title, and under each title we do need description. So in other words, this is the sample structure. So let's say you do want to present your technology project number 1, which is Google Forms. You do want to say this as a title. So this is like the title. And under the title, here, explain what this project is about. You can say, for example, in this project, I created an online form on an upcoming school field trip, and I use Google Forms to collect information. That's good enough information. We know the purpose of your assignment. We know the tool that you used. So that's the description. So title, here the title and the description, and then present your product, which would be, in this case, it would be your Google form. Or this could be your presentation. This could be some of your other projects, like your research paper. So title, description, and the product. The product could be, again, the image, the file, the text info, or whatever information that you actually create, whatever file that you created for that assignment. Okay, so those are the general requirements. So this assignment is actually due on Tuesday. The reason is that I cannot give you any more time than this. I need to turn in the grades, I believe on the 8th or the 9th. So that's my final deadline to turn in the grades for this course. So that's the latest I can give you in terms of time. Make sure you will be having this ready by this time. So that's the week 6 work. All right. So you may have some questions about ePortfolio, especially like how to use Weebly.com. But again, this is why I've got this recording here. Watch this recording. I'm going to show you how to use Weebly to create pages, to create content, specifically going over the requirements of this homepage, the ePortfolio. So answering possible questions here. Maybe you took a course with me before, and in that course, you created an ePortfolio. Can you use that ePortfolio for this class? The answer is yes, you can. The only, my only requirement for that is to make sure you need to be posting the materials from this course, your artifacts, your products, the projects that you created for this course. So if you remember our list, let's say, all right, let's take a look at ePortfolio requirements again. So right here, the courses. So maybe you already have your ePortfolio website ready, and under the courses, you may have different courses listed. But for this course, make sure there's this available, EDUC 5324. And under that, you do list the specific artifacts that we created in this course. As long as I have this section available and you're showcasing or you're posting the projects that you created for this course, you'll be fine. Another important thing here is that the blog post. So you may have a reflection post from another course, but that doesn't mean it's for this course, right? So that means you need to write another or brand new reflection post for this course specifically. Same thing goes for your post number 1. Your post number 1 should come from this course. So as long as you make these updates and then these updates right here, you'll be fine to use a previously created ePortfolio website on Weebly. Another potential question is, can I use a different website system besides Weebly? The answer is yes. I don't prefer that, but if you are feeling comfortable using another system, for example, Wix.com, Wix.com, that's fine. Or if you do have access to Google Sites, that's also acceptable, as long as you follow this format. As long as I've got all of these included, and if you are able to insert all of these projects into your website, that is acceptable. So other platforms besides Weebly will be acceptable, but again, I do recommend Weebly. It's easier to use, especially for beginners, and my tutorials are about how to use, or my tutorials are on Weebly, so it's going to be easier for you to follow along with me. All right. So at this time, I think I covered everything that I need to cover for this webinar. Your role is to make sure you're watching these tutorials that I posted, and then try to work on your assignments. And again, your assignments, the week 5 assignments are due on Monday the 6th, and the week 6 final project is due on Tuesday, August the 7th. Now, at this time, I do want to take questions from you guys. So can you please use chat box to write your questions so I can help you? All right, do we have any questions? No? Is it clear? All right, so giving you some updates on the grading. All right, so here's a question. You can do the presentation or the Padlet. That is correct. You can either do presentation or the Padlet. You do not need to do both of them. So if you find maybe Padlet easier and you want to explore that, use Padlet. And let's say you're familiar with Prezi and you want to create a Prezi presentation, that's also acceptable. Okay, no problem. Updates on grading. I'm done with week 1, week 2 grading completely. I'm working on week 3 right now. So you should be seeing a lot of grades posted this week. I'm catching up with grading. So hopefully by the end of the week, you're going to see pretty much everything is graded except your current week. All right. Any other questions, guys? I guess no more questions. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. I've got your names under the chat box, so I'm going to give you credit for this webinar. But if you missed this webinar, the live session, you need to write your synopsis. I will be posting the recording either today or tomorrow. Please watch the recorded session and write your synopsis. Your synopsis is also due on Monday. If you were part of the live meeting, you're good. There's no need to do anything except working on your assignments. All right, so this is our last webinar. I just want to say thank you guys. You've been very good students, and I hope that you enjoyed class so far, and then you will be learning. I mean, you will be using some of these tools in your professional life. All right, thank you guys, and I'll see you hopefully sometime in the future. All right, have a good night.